a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son,
This
for
is
he
a
is lunatic
demonstration of
and sore
Wirecast.
vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very
This
hour.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove. And nothing shall be impossible unto you.
This is a
Howbeit this
demonstration
kind
of
goeth not out,
Wirecast.
but by prayer and fasting. Luke. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
This is a demonstration
And there
of
was delivered unto him
Wirecast.
the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened this book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. And all
This
bare him
is a
witness, and
demonstration
wondered
of
at the gracious
Wirecast.
words which proceeded out of his mouth. In the synagogue there was a man which had a spirit of an unclean devil, and cried out with a loud voice, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. And Jesus rebuked him, saying, Hold thy
This
peace,
is a demonstration of
and come out of him.
Wirecast.
And when the devil had thrown him in the midst, he came out of him and hurt him not. And they were all amazed, and spake among themselves, saying, What a word is this? For with authority and power he commandeth the unclean spirits, and they come out. Then he called his 12 disciples together, and gave them power and authority
This
over
is
all
a
devils,
demonstration of
and to cure
Wirecast.
diseases. And he sent them to preach the kingdom of God, and to heal the sick. And they departed and went through the towns, preaching the gospel and healing everywhere. And the people, when they knew it, followed him, and he received them, and spake unto them of the kingdom of God, and healed them that had need of healing.
This is
After
a
these
demonstration
things,
of
the Lord
Wirecast.
appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place whither he himself would come. Go your ways. Behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves. And if the Son of Peace be there, your peace shall rest upon it. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name.
This
And he
is
said
a
unto them, I
demonstration
beheld
of
Satan as
Wirecast.
lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice, because your names are written in heaven. In that hour,
This
Jesus
is a
rejoiced in
demonstration
spirit
of
and said, I
Wirecast.
thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered to me of my Father, and no man knoweth who the Son is but the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. And he turned him unto his disciples and said privately,
This is a demonstration
Blessed
of
are the eyes which
Wirecast.
see the things that ye see, for I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. I shall also read
This
from
is a
Science and Health,
demonstration of
the Key to the
Wirecast.
Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy. We walk in the footsteps of truth and love by following the example of our Master in the understanding of divine metaphysics. Christianity is the basis of true healing. Whatever holds human thought in line with unself-love receives directly the divine power. I was
This is
called
a
to visit Mr.
demonstration
Clark
of
in Lynn, who had
Wirecast.
been confined to his bed 6 months with hip disease, caused by a fall upon a wooden spike when quite a boy. On entering the house, I met his physician, who said that the patient was dying. The physician had just probed the ulcer on the hip and said the bone was carious for several inches. He even showed me the probe, which had on it the evidence of this condition of the bone. The doctor went out. Mr. Clark lay with his eyes
This is a
fixed and
demonstration of
sightless.
Wirecast.
The dew of death was on his brow. I went to his bedside. In a few moments, his face changed. Its death pallor gave place to a natural hue. The eyelids closed gently, and the breathing became natural. He was asleep. In about 10 minutes, he opened his eyes and said, I feel like a new man. My
This is a
suffering is
demonstration
all
of
gone.
Wirecast.
It was between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon when this took place. I told him to rise, dress himself, and take supper with his family. He did so. The next day I saw him in the yard. Since then I have not seen him, but am informed that he went to work in 2 weeks. The discharge from the sore stopped, and the sore was healed. The diseased condition had continued there ever since the injury was received in boyhood.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Since his recovery, I have been informed that his physician claims to have cured him, and that his mother has been threatened with incarceration in an insane asylum for saying it was none other than God and that woman who healed him. I cannot attest the truth of that report, but what I said and did, or what I saw and did for that man, and what his physician said of the case, occurred just as I have narrated.
This is a
It
demonstration
has been
of
demonstrated to me
Wirecast.
that life is God, and that the might of omnipotent spirit shares not its strength with matter or with human will. Reviewing this brief experience, I cannot fail to discern the coincidence of the spiritual idea of man with the divine mind. A change in human belief changes all the physical symptoms and determines a case for better or for worse.
This
When
is a
one's false
demonstration of
belief is
Wirecast.
corrected, truth sends a report of health over the body. Destruction of the auditory nerve are not necessary to ensure deafness and blindness. Or if mortal mind says, I am deaf and blind, it will be so without an injured nerve. Every theory opposed to this fact, as I learned in metaphysics, would presuppose
This
man,
is
who
a
is immortal
demonstration of
in
Wirecast.
spiritual understanding, a mortal in material belief. The point for each one to decide is whether it is mortal mind or immortal mind that is causative. We should forsake the basis of matter for metaphysical science and its divine principle. Whatever furnishes the semblance of an idea governed by its principle furnishes food for thought.
This is a demonstration of
Through astronomy,
Wirecast.
natural history, chemistry, music, mathematics, thought passes naturally from effect back to cause. Academics of the right sort are requisite. Observation, invention, study, and original thought are expansive and should promote the growth of mortal mind out of itself, out of all that is mortal. It is the tangled barbarisms of learning
This
which we
is a
deplore,
demonstration of
the mere
Wirecast.
dogma, the speculative theory, the nauseous fiction, novels remarkable only for their exaggerated pictures, impossible ideals, and specimens of depravity fill our young readers with wrong tastes and sentiments. Literary commercialism is lowering the intellectual standard to accommodate the purse and to meet a frivolous demand for amusement instead of for improvement.
This
Incorrect
is a
views
demonstration
lower
of
the standard
Wirecast.
of truth. Such books as will rule disease out of mortal mind and so efface the images and thoughts of disease instead of impressing them with forcible descriptions and medical details will help to abate sickness and to destroy it. Many a hopeless case of disease is induced by a single post-mortem examination.
This is a demonstration
not
of
from
Wirecast.
infection, nor from contact with material virus, but from the fear of the disease and from the image brought forth before the mind. It is a mental state which is afterwards outlined on the body. The press unwittingly sends forth many sorrows and diseases among the human family. It does this by giving names to diseases and by
This is a
printing long
demonstration of
descriptions
Wirecast.
which mirror images of disease distinctly in thought. A new name for an ailment affects people like a Parisian name for a novel garment. Everyone hastens to get it. A minutely described disease costs many a man his earthly days of comfort. What a price for human knowledge! But the price does not exceed the original cost. God said of the tree of knowledge, which bears
This is
the
a
fruit of sin,
demonstration
disease,
of
and death,
Wirecast.
in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. The less that is said of physical structure and laws, and the more that is thought and said about moral and spiritual law, the higher will be the standard of living, and the farther mortals will be removed from imbecility or disease.
This is a
The
demonstration
materialistic
of
doctor, though
Wirecast.
humane, is an artist who outlines his thought relative to disease and then fills in his delineations with sketches from textbooks. It is better to prevent disease from forming in mortal mind, afterwards to appear on the body. But to do this requires attention. The thought of disease is formed before one sees a doctor and before the doctor undertakes to dispel it by a counter-irritant,
This is a
perhaps by a
demonstration of Wirecast.
by the application of caustic or croton oil, or by a surgical operation. Again, giving another direction to faith, the physician prescribes drugs until the elasticity of mortal thought happily causes a vigorous reaction upon itself and reproduces a picture of healthy and harmonious formations. A patient's belief
This
is
is a
more or less
demonstration
molded and
of
formed by his
Wirecast.
doctor's belief in the case, even though the doctor says nothing to support his theory. His thoughts and his patient's commingle, and the stronger thoughts rule the weaker. Hence, the importance that doctors be Christian Scientists. The fundamental propositions of divine metaphysics
This
are
is a
summarized in the
demonstration
four
of
following
Wirecast.
to me self-evident propositions. Even if reversed, these propositions will be found to agree in statement and proof, showing mathematically their exact relation to truth. De Quincey says, mathematics has not a foot to stand upon which is not purely metaphysical. 1. God is all in all. 2.
This
God
is
is
a demonstration
good.
of Wirecast.
Good is mind. 3. God, Spirit, being all, nothing is matter. 4. Life, God, omnipotent good, deny death, evil, sin, disease. Disease, sin, evil, death, deny good, omnipotent God, life.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You should treat sickness mentally, just as you would sin, except you must not tell a patient that he is sick, nor give names to diseases, for such a course increases fear, the foundation of disease, and impresses more deeply the wrong mind picture.
This is a
A
demonstration
Christian
of
Scientist
Wirecast.
medicine is mind, the divine truth that makes man free. A Christian Scientist never recommends material hygiene, never manipulates. He does not trespass on the rights of mind, nor can he practice animal magnetism or hypnotism. The ordinary practitioner examining bodily symptoms,
This is a
telling the patient
demonstration
that
of
he is sick, and
Wirecast.
treating the case according to his physical diagnosis, would naturally induce the very disease he is trying to cure, even if it were not already determined by mortal mind. Such unconscious mistakes would not occur if this old class of philanthropists looked as deeply for cause and effect into mind as into matter. The physician agrees with his adversary quickly, but upon different terms.
This is a demonstration
Than
of
does a
Wirecast.
metaphysician. For the matter physician agrees with the disease, while the metaphysician agrees only with health and challenges disease. The metaphysician, making mind his basis of operation, irrespective of matter, and regarding the truth and harmony of being as superior to error and discord,
This is a
has
demonstration
rendered
of
himself
Wirecast.
strong instead of weak to cope with the case, and he proportionately strengthens his patient with the stimulus of courage and conscious power. Both science and consciousness are now at work in the economy of being, according to the law of mind, which ultimately asserts its absolute supremacy.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Let us unite in silent prayer and then repeat together the Lord's Prayer.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive
This is a demonstration of
debtors.
Wirecast.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Let us continue by singing hymn number 388.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
When like a stranger on our sphere, the lowly Jesus sojourned here. Where'er he went, affliction fled. The sick were healed, the hungry fed. Hymn number 388.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
When like a stranger on our sphere, the lowly Jesus
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
sojourned here. Where'er he went, affliction fled. The sick were healed, the hungry fed. With bounding steps the halls have made to hail their great deliverer King.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The grave could hold no dread. He spoke the word and raised the dead. Through paths of loving kindness led, where Jesus triumphed we would tread. Through all
This
with
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
hands dispense the gifts of our benevolence.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The members of this church welcome those of you here and those listening on the internet to this healing meeting. Jesus said, "He that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also." Christian Scientists work and pray daily to see this special promise fulfilled. This church is a branch of the First Church of Christ Scientists in Boston.
This is a
Established
demonstration
by
of
Mary Baker.
Wirecast.
Our pastor is the Bible, and Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mrs. Eddy. At our Sunday service, held at 10 a.m., the Bible lesson, which students around the world have been studying during the week, is read from these books. Our Sunday school also convenes at 10 a.m. Here, young people up to the age of 20 learn how to prove God's healing power in their lives as they study with their
This is a
teachers the
demonstration
inspired
of
word of the
Wirecast.
Bible, illumined by the Christian Science textbook. There will be a selection of items from the reading room available in the lobby after this meeting. Our reading room is now located at the same address as the church on the other side of the Sunday school. It is open Tuesday through Thursday and on Saturday. Hours are posted on the bulletin board in the foyer. There are some
This is a
special activities
demonstration
being
of
planned in October.
Wirecast.
The ones that haven't transpired are Bible Stories for Children on Saturday, October 22nd at 11 a.m. Then on Tuesday, the 25th at 1 p.m., you are invited to come and share your favorite Bible verses and stories and tell why they are special to you. All are welcome. Pick up a schedule of events in the foyer and stop by the reading room for prayer, study,
This
and
is a
purchases during the
demonstration
other
of
hours that we are
Wirecast.
open too. First Church of Christ Scientist Hayward is sponsoring a lecture in conjunction with the annual meeting of Fern Lodge, a Christian Science nursing facility. Chet Manchester, CSB, will give a lecture titled Mary Baker Eddy, A Life of Discovery. The lecture will be followed by brief reports and a 1-hour workshop
This
on
is a
care
demonstration
presented
of
by Fern Lodge.
Wirecast.
This program will be of interest to Christian Scientists and all who wish to hear a message that will promote healing in our lives, our community, and our world. The lecture and workshop will be held on Saturday morning, October 29th at 10 a.m. in the church at 1814 B Street in Hayward. More information is on the flyer posted in the lobby.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Well, this is really pleasant. When a month has 5 Mondays, the Mill Valley Church sponsors an hour-long interview
This
by
is a
Scout
demonstration
Bartlett
of
of
Wirecast.
various members of the Christian Science community. These interviews can be heard on the radio, KEST 1450 on the AM dial, or online at KESTRadio.com at 7 a.m. Pacific Time. On Monday, October 31st, Fujiko Signs, a wonderful lecturer who has
This is a
been in our church
demonstration of
from
Wirecast.
Tokyo, Japan, will speak on Love Without Limit, Life Without Fear. A few weeks later, this program will be available on prayerfulliving.com. One does not need to be a member to access spiritual perspectives. I guess that's the web address or something? Spiritual perspectives?
This is a
name for the
demonstration
program,
of Wirecast.
So otherwise, they would go get on this. If they get online, they want to be on this KESTradio.com. That's a live. Oh. I still don't get it, but I guess it's all right. Anyway, it would be a real pleasure to see her again. And don't forget that Sunday
This is a
annual
demonstration
meeting for
of
members,
Wirecast.
and all of those who everyone needs to put their heads together and write their annual reports and stuff. Okay. Well, the meeting is open now for experiences, remarks, and testimonies of Christian Science healing. When you want to speak,
This is a
you may raise your
demonstration
hand
of
and the usher will
Wirecast.
bring you the microphone, the hand microphone. If you hold it up like this so it goes straight out, because it amplifies this way, it doesn't amplify that way.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Thank you for those wonderful readings. Okay, hear me now?
Yeah.
Seemed the wrong way to do it. Okay, all right. The year my husband
This
passed
is a
away,
demonstration
that
of
summer, a
Wirecast.
check came in his name, and I took it to the bank, and they just didn't know what to do with it. And they said, well, maybe you better just send it back. I stood my ground. I'm sure that they could find a way to do it. So it took some doing, but they did find a way. And so they said they would put that information in my account, and it would be there if it happened again. Well, many years have gone
This
by
is a
now,
demonstration
and
of
one came a couple
Wirecast.
of weeks ago in his name. And I started to say, oh, no, not this again, but I just got away from that. And so I made a copy of it, put it in the file, and put the check on the desk. And every day I walked by, and there was that check. Today's not the day. And this went on for 2, almost 3 weeks. So
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
on Monday this week, I listen to JSH Online, the lesson, every morning, and follow with my quarterly. And when it's finished, I lay there and pray about what I heard and read. And when I became quiet for a little bit, the little voice said, go to the bank. And I ignored it. Kept on
This is a
praying.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Again, go to the bank. I've got things to do today. I can't go to the bank today. The third time it came, I listened. So I couldn't just go to the bank because I was really upset the first time. And I've had unfoldment and calming since then. And so I just spent time
This
in
is
prayer.
a demonstration of
And
Wirecast.
what I was praying with was, the first thing that came to mind was, all God's children work together in harmony. Pretty good. And then there would be no judging and criticism in that type of thing. And it wasn't only for me, but it was for everybody. And then this little poem that I keep close to me is divine mind directs and
This is a
protects
demonstration
and
of
unfolds to us
Wirecast.
each day what we must know, do, and say. Well, now that's going to unfold to me to say what is the right thing to say and not anything else. And it will be the same for whoever I work with at the bank. So I went into the bank, and this young man came up and said, "I can help you." So he asked what the problem was, and I gave him the check.
This
And I
is a
said,
demonstration of
"Supposedly
Wirecast.
the information is in the file in the computer." So he looked in there and he said, "No, it's not." And I said, "Well, so now what do we do?" He said, "I got to call my back office and talk to somebody." So he did. The man told him exactly what to do. There's an affidavit form that can be filled out. And so in case this happens again, I've got a copy of it.
This
And he
is a
showed me how
demonstration
to
of Wirecast.
endorse the check. Nothing to it. Well, there was, because I did a lot of praying. And as a child growing up, I just would snap and yell and carry on, because my dad was sort of like that. But that has gone away. And for that's one of the things that I am very grateful for. So anyway,
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I am just so grateful. When I got home, I just felt like God was with me all the way. And so anyway, I really am grateful. And it's so wonderful with our periodicals, because frequently when I'm reading an article, there'll be something in there that I need for something that I've been thinking about or working with. So again, Bill, thank you for the readings. They were really
This
good.
is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Man in the balcony.
Okay, I do income taxes. Monday was the last day to file if you had an extension. And I had this client that was divorced and was getting divorced and was filing separately with her husband was filing
This
with his
is a
accountant,
demonstration
and
of
she was filing with
Wirecast.
me. So there's certain laws that say if you have a principal residence for 2 out of 5 years, can exclude a certain amount of gain. And so it didn't appear that she met that. Didn't appear that he met it either. And but I talked to her accountant, his accountant, and I said, "Are you taking this exclusion?" He said, "Oh yeah, I am." And I could see that
This
it
is a
was-
demonstration of
It was
Wirecast.
obviously wrong and bordering on fraud. So I had a lot of problems with it for a long time and kind of put this to the side and didn't want to look at it. And finally, I had to deal with it, and I just put a big footnote in. Hey, you said this applies, and that you met it, and you can get in a lot of trouble, etc. But this is what you
This
said.
is
and
a
so this is what
demonstration
I'm
of
doing.
Wirecast.
It turns out that she said, "I'll do whatever my husband does." So all along I was thinking she was being fraudulent too, and it was really bothering me. But it turns out, so I finished the return, and then I really prayed about it. And I hadn't prayed before, and I thought, okay, let God take care of this. And I let it go. And then
This is
I
a
called her and I said,
demonstration of Wirecast.
your return is done. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Do you understand what you're saying? And all along, I thought she was trying to go along with what he did, and both were doing something illegal. So it turns out she said, "Oh no, I want to do what's right." And there's no way that we met that qualification. And her husband is borders on,
This is a
Um,
demonstration of
always
Wirecast.
apparently from her borders on the illegal anyway. But she said, no way, I don't want to get in trouble. And it was a big relief. I changed it. She owes taxes, so that's sad. But I felt the right thing came out, and it was all because of my prayer that made it work. And not only did she do the right thing, but it turned out that my whole thought about what she was doing
This is a
was all
demonstration
wrong.
of
And
Wirecast.
she really wanted to do the right thing. She just misunderstood from the beginning. So that's why I came to church tonight, because I have to be grateful for it.
Thank you.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Our association meeting occurred on Saturday. I cannot remember everything to share with you. I can remember essentially the opening question which the speaker asked of us. The question is this: Mrs. Eddy gives us 7 synonyms for God. If you read through Science and Health,
This
which
is a
synonym
demonstration of
occurs
Wirecast.
more than any of the others? Well, most of us thought it would be love. And she said, well, it's spirit. Spirit occurs 900 times, whereas love appears 500 times according to her count. Spirit being spirit and spiritual and everything related to it. Well, that was an eye-opener. That was a good thought for me.
This is a
Her
demonstration of
association address was
Wirecast.
on spirit, and I thought it was a good one. To attend this meeting, Lynn and I drove up Highway 101 and went through a huge rainstorm. I've never seen so much rain. The rain came down so hard, it was hard to see the highway. It was hard to see the cars in front of you. The cars going along produced a huge spray of in the air from their tires.
This is a demonstration of
Spurting
Wirecast.
the water around, and trucks also. It was a very interesting time. Every bit of the way turned out to be a blessing. Going up on Sunday, she had, whereas Saturday was my day for the association, Sunday was her day to have lunch with Lewis and Clark College friends. 14 people came, 6 women and 8 men.
This
And,
is a demonstration of
it was,
Wirecast.
Friends and spouses. At any rate, we just arrived back this afternoon about 2 o'clock. But the whole trip was harmonious. I had been working on that, and I worked with a practitioner on it. We had planned some things to look at on the way going up and on the way coming back, seeing friends. And so every bit of it turned out
This
to be
is a demonstration of
success,
Wirecast.
and for this I am grateful. Harmony is usually what people think of with heaven, heavenly harmony. And that is what we saw on this occasion.
Thank you for the readings.
I was one of those who attended the Christian Science lecture on
This
Sunday.
is a demonstration
as
of
many
Wirecast.
of the others here this evening did. It was quite one of the best lectures I've ever heard, really. And also, I think one of the clearest, the lecture, and also got the involvement of participants. It was, there were 2 columns, and the readings tonight, I thought, parallel.
This is a
her
demonstration
point.
of Wirecast.
One of the columns, which was the first one was put up, were spiritual qualities of stillness that bring peace and love and whatnot. In fact, those were some of the things that were listed: joy, confidence, love, harmony, and I think there were about 15 or so actually. And then the next column, if I'm not mistaken, were things
This is
that
a demonstration of
are
Wirecast.
material success, but are not really tied to the first column, which is the spiritual stillness. And perhaps someone else will comment afterwards on that particular point. But your readings tonight, one of the readings that you read from Science and Health mentioned that as we think about spiritual things, spiritual laws, that kind of thing, then our thought is improving.
This is a
We're,
demonstration of Wirecast.
becoming more spiritual, becoming more godlike. Whereas as we're thinking material things, then we're not being spiritual. The two are really not connected. And that, I believe, were the 2 columns that the lecture actually had 2 different people spontaneously stand up and write down on a bulletin board in different colors, by the way, different text. But she also made the point that
This is a demonstration of
the
Wirecast.
2 columns are not related. In other words, the first column that was written, the qualities such as peace and joy and confidence, etc. Those you can have those irregardless of the other, the material, the material. So that was a good point, and I appreciate the church, the cooperation of the 3 churches that sponsored it, and also
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
It was a demonstration. I had brought a large umbrella because it was raining and because I wanted to help set up chairs and things and put them down. And because of an activity like that, there's a lot going on, a lot of things that chairs have to go up and come down afterwards. And who would remember an umbrella? Kind of gets put over on the side of it. But one of the participants from the Los Altos Church
This is a demonstration of
randomly near the
Wirecast.
program, after most people had left, said, did someone leave an umbrella? And she said it about 3 times. And it wasn't until the 3rd time that it dawned to me that it was my umbrella. And I'm sure I would have left without it. But to me, it was just an example of love, just God in action. And I was just so grateful that I not only heard the lecture, as I just
This
mentioned.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
A demonstration of God's love. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed your readings tonight.
Good.
As always, they were spot on. It was what I needed to hear.
This is a demonstration
But
of
in reference to
Wirecast.
the lecture on Sunday, it really was wonderful. It brought back memory, something that my aunt taught me a long time ago. Was I would think I was 15 at the time, and we were grocery shopping, and with her 4 little boys and me living with her,
This
my
is a
uncle, of course.
demonstration of Wirecast.
The grocery bill back in 1965 was over $200. And I thought, whoa, that is so much. I says, Aunt Marge, how can you afford that? And she says, honey, it's just gratitude. We're helping everyone here. We are getting food. They are getting payment for the efforts that they've put in. The farmers get paid. The grocer gets paid. And she's going through all of this list of people
Wirecast.
who have helped get that food to us. And, she was just paying her gratitude. She wasn't paying money. And I've thought about the paying bills the same way. And it was one of the things that was brought out in the lecture was when you have a problem, you don't start with the problem. You start with the truth. And every bill I pay
This is a demonstration
is
of Wirecast.
an expression of gratitude. I'm grateful for electricity. I'm grateful for water. I'm grateful for the shoes I wear. Every bill is an expression of gratitude. And I was reminded of that on Sunday. And it goes along with the readings that you gave tonight. You start from the truth. You start with health.
This is a demonstration
And
of Wirecast.
that's what Mrs. Eddy saw when she was looking at Mr. Clark. She saw his good health. She saw his wholeness. She saw him the way God sees him, as a pure and perfect idea. And anyway, thank you very much. The lesson this week is really amazing too, but I won't go into that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
As we know tonight, there is a presidential debate going on starting at 6 Pacific Standard Time. And I read earlier today that there was a national survey just taken, and in the survey they said that 52% of Americans, no matter what party they belong to,
This is
are
a demonstration of Wirecast.
quite or very stressed by all the election things that are going on. And I know that I kind of fell into that myself, and because I belong to various political organizations, and they all email me about all this stuff. And I found myself getting more and more stressed. And one of the things that they said
This is a demonstration of
in
Wirecast.
in making recommendations about how to deal with this is to cut down on the amount of social media and other things that you can get caught up in and get all stirred up. And so I've been trying to do that today and not paying a lot of attention to the debate tonight, and just trying
This is
to
a demonstration of Wirecast.
get a better handle on all of this. And one of the things I found in the reading room today was a pamphlet that's called Trustworthy Government. Is it possible? And one of the articles is, and realize this article was written 25 years ago and is still, as far as I'm concerned, extremely relevant. The title of the article is, You Can Help to
This
Diffuse
is a
Public
demonstration of
Anger.
Wirecast.
And I'll just read the first page here. It says, tune in to a radio talk show on any given day, and you're likely to hear people venting their outrage against this official or that circumstance. Anger is apparently widespread, erupted in racial conflict, violence on the freeway, and in community factions that won't cooperate. It seems clear that while anger may be considered by some a natural,
This is a
even
demonstration
therapeutic
of
reaction to
Wirecast.
injustice, it doesn't provide any genuine solution. A frustrated, stirred up state of thought only tends to cloud reason, the perception of possible solutions and steps in the right direction. There's nothing truly novel about the animalistic thinking that generates hatred and conflict, or about the fearful view of life that sees man as a perpetual victim,
This is a
subject to
demonstration
forces
of
outside of his
Wirecast.
control. Whatever the new forms of today's challenges, their common denominator is the same as it has always been. St. Paul describes this as the carnal mind, which he told the Romans is enmity against God. Fortunately, there is a remedy, and it's as powerful today as it was in Bible times. It's probably best summed up in Paul's advice to the Philippians. Let this
is a
mind be in
demonstration
you,
of Wirecast.
which was also in Christ Jesus. And that really helped me a lot and calm my thinking down. And you can't have the mind of Christ at the same time be all stirred up. And I was really helpful for that. I was helpful. I was helped by the lecture on stillness, which is what I needed. And I thank you for your readings
This
tonight.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I'll finish it in 3 minutes. On Sunday, when I came to the church, I had some struggles to go on. And the first thought, even before I started to pray or open the book, a thought came to me very clearly. It was, needing love is death.
This is
Knowing
a demonstration
I
of
am love
Wirecast.
divine is life. So I was thinking very deeply about this, and it is the exact truth. Like, you are not responsible what happens to you, or how others treat you, or what happens in the situations, or in the country, or in the politics, or whatever. How we are going to represent love as a love citizen, as a
This
love
is a demonstration
representative.
of
And how
Wirecast.
we are going to respond is what going to change everything. And another time when I sat in the reading room, this is the inspiration that came to me, with which I wrote about this I am part of it. So, I am the art of the big mind. I am the poem of the living soul. I am the offspring of the Almighty. I am the toddler of the love divine. I am the sweet presence of His great
This
Spirit.
is a demonstration
I am
of
the blessed
Wirecast.
expression of His loving heart. I am the warmth, the strength, the love to bless others through His idea. This I am is an untouchable part within me that could never be disturbed by anything that happens to me. And I wrote this, and when I really wrote this, I didn't even feel what I'm writing. But when I reread it today, I really felt the love that made me write this. And it really touched my
This
heart.
is a
And
demonstration of
I'm so touched
Wirecast.
by this love. And I really enjoy to be this love's expression. Thank you.
Thank you.
I realize we're over time, but my favorite part of the lecture,
Oh, too late.
my favorite part of the lecture was that the speaker said her goal for the election is to be the one that is unfazed, regardless of what happens, so that people who are upset can talk to her and feel better.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Thank you. We all need that. Well, it's a little over the starting time, or ending time. So let's end. Well, let's close by singing hymn number 168.
This is a demonstration of
Let
Wirecast.
all the earth with songs rejoice. Let heaven return the joyful voice. All mindful of our God's great name, let every man his praise proclaim. Hymn number 168.
This is
That-
a
I don't think
demonstration
that's the
of
right one.
Wirecast.
Oh.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
All the earth with songs rejoice. Let heaven return the joyful voice. All mindful of our God's great name, let every man his praise proclaim.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Once bore the light of gospel truth or darkest night. Still may our word that light impart to glad the eyes and cheer the heart. O God, by whom to them was given the
This is a
key
demonstration
that
of
shuts
Wirecast.
and opens heaven. Our chains unbind, our loss repair. Reveal thy power through answer prayer. For at thy will they preach the word, which cure disease, which health conferred. And now
This is a
that
demonstration of Wirecast.